Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Coach Charlie, YouTube channel, and welcome finally to the first of the 3 spring prediction episodes. Now, of course, if you remember back in around January time, we did the first predictions, the early 2020 predictions for Six Flags, Cedar Fair, Millen Entertainment, but we also did other USA parks and SeaWorld and Busch Gardens parks. Now, of course, the reason I'm not doing the other USA parts is because I can do them as separate videos, but I was just sort of making an early assumption before more stuff came out. With the SeaWorld and Busch Gardens parks, the leaks are just too strong this year. The SeaWorld and Busch Gardens predictions may come back next year, but this year it's just too obvious what they're going to be, so I decided not to move forward with that. But of course, Six Flags, Cedar Fair and Millen Entertainment are staying, so we'll have one episode after another. So it will be Six Flags today, then it will be Millen Entertainment or Cedar Fair tomorrow. In fact, probably it's going to be Cedar Fair tomorrow, and then Millen Entertainment's the day after. So let's get started then with our Six Flags Spring Prediction 2020. Now, of course, a lot's changed since those first prediction videos. News updates, rumours, speculations, I've added all of that into account, and I've put them in as my final spring predictions. And of course, a couple months down the line, in around end of June, start of July, we're going to have the final predictions for Six Flags, Cedar Fair and Millen Entertainment. So let's get started then. Let's start with our first park, Darien Lake. Now, down here I've put what I've said in the early prediction video, and I said a Zamperla Giant Discovery or a refurbishment of Beaver Brothers Bay and Rowdy's Ridge into the Timbertown area. Now, of course, Timbertown is a Six Flags thing, so I think Darien Lake could have been the first to the next one to maybe get the Timbertown area. Now, my mid-season prediction, my spring prediction, is some family attractions. So this could be part of the Timbertown revamp of the Beaver Brothers Bay and Rowdy's Ridge into Timbertown. It could be part of that. So I was sort of suggesting maybe like a Zamperla Endeavour. Maybe a chance freestyle, some flag scooters, etc. You know, those type of family attractions, just to sort of round off the area. As of where it could go, like I said, it could go anywhere, but I'm sort of suggesting maybe that Beaver Brothers Bay and Rowdy's Ridge, if they're going to sort of change it into Timbertown. So, moving on then to Frontier City, another one of the new Six Flags parks. And of course, my mid-season prediction for this, well, my early prediction for this was an SLS 40 free spin or an ABC Tourbillon, so I was going for more of the thrill investment. I still think it's going to be a thrill investment. There's been no leaks, there's been no anything, but my mid-season prediction, spring prediction for Frontier City is a Zamperla Giant Discovery, or maybe even just a normal Discovery, like, well, to be fair, thinking about it, I was thinking about that, and of course they've got Extreme Supernova, which is their MIDI Discovery. So I sort of took back on the Giant Discovery thing, and I thought, well, maybe they're going to start adding the Super Loops back in. So my mid-season prediction, spring prediction for Frontier City is a Super Loop by Larson. I know they said they weren't going to add any more. I think they said they're not going to add any more, but I do think they'll have one more, and it's one of the only parks that hasn't got one. Moving on then to Great Escape. Now, my mid-season prediction, well, my early prediction for this was a 40 free spin, or a Tourbillon, or a Super Loop. Now, I believe they're going to go on the family ride route. I would love to see a coaster at Great Escape, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think my spring prediction for this, as I've put down there, is a Zamperla Endeavour, like the Supergirl Skyflyer that's going into St. Louis this year. And again, like I said, I did predict this as part of a family rides package for Darien Lake, like I said earlier. So I do think Great Escape is one of those that's going to get one of these. I think it's going to be a good family ride success for St. Louis, and I think that's going to sort of prompt more Six Flags parks to add this kind of ride. Moving on then to Ronde. Now, Ronde, I predicted a 40 free spin or a Tourbillon. I personally believe it could be an SNS 40 free spin, some family rides, either a chance freestyle, Zamperla Endeavour, things like that, or, and this is a slim possibility, RMC Le Monstre. Now, of course, if they were going to RMC Le Monstre, we probably will hear something in the next couple of months about the ride closing in September. I think it's too early to say there's going to be an announcement, but I think if we were expecting an announcement, I mean, you look at Georgia Cyclone and how that was announced to close sort of a few weeks before the announcement came out from Six Flags about their new attractions. for that following year. And of course they announced Twisted Cyclone to replace Georgia Cyclone with the RMC treatment. So I would say that Le Monstre will be announced, if they're going to RMC Le Monstre, they're going to be announcing its close maybe a month in advance, maybe even just a few weeks in advance, like Georgia Cyclone at Six Flags Over Georgia. So there is a slim chance, but I hope they take that chance because Le Ronde is desperate of a coaster. Moving on then to Six Flags America, of course they added Firebird this year. I predicted Tourbillon or some family rides. Now of course this follows on from what we did in a separate video on the channel, which we talked about them apparently adding a large ride in 2020. And I don't think that large implies just in coasters. So I made two predictions. RMC Roar, which I think a lot of people are starting to predict at the minute. But then, like I said, a large ride doesn't have to mean a big coaster. So I also put down a giant / Giga Discovery, of course, like we did in a separate video, replacing the Sky Coaster. Now, of course, in that separate video, which was way earlier, I think it was a couple of months back now, we found the news out that the Sky Coaster's been removed, and we sort of predicted like a giant / Giga Discovery on that site. And of course, the large ride speculation came in months later. So some big stuff for Six Flags America, and I think either one of these investments is going to be big. So like I said, my spring prediction for America is a Giga / Giant Discovery or RMCing Roar. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom then, I predicted a Tourbillon or some family rides, and I think they're going to go along either the family rides package, so it could be a St. Pillar Endeavour, Chance Freestyle, etc. Just family rides like that. Or, and this is a big thing that's going around at the minute at a couple of parks, a Mack Power Splash. Now, I'm going to talk more about Six Flags Over Texas when I get to the park, but Mack Power Splashes have been rumoured to be added to Six Flags parks, especially with the Six Flags Dubai project on hold and the fact that their Mack Power Splash is apparently going to be sent to one of the other parks, and I'll talk more about that when it gets around to Over Texas, etc. But a Mack Power Splash would be a good fit for Discovery Kingdom, but again, coaster after coaster after coaster, would it make sense? Maybe, maybe not. So that's why I kept that family rides. Of course, they hadn't really had any family rides since the late 90s, so I think it's sort of a desperate need for Discovery Kingdom to add some family rides. Moving on then to Six Flags Fiesta Texas, not much, leaks about this, so I sort of stuck with my early prediction, either an ABC Tourbillon or some family rides. That is, of course, my spring prediction as well. Like I said, no real leaks from Fiesta Texas. Maybe we'll hear something soon about any thrill rides or anything like that, but I don't think it's going to be anything, massive. Six Flags Great Adventure. Now, this is one of the parks that I think are definitely going to get a coaster. There's no, two-way thinking about it like America with RMC Roar or Le Ronde with RMC Le Monstre. I don't think there's any seed of doubt about this. Great Adventure is going to get a coaster next year, I can guarantee it. Now, my prediction was either an RMC Raptor or an RMC launched top of track / iBox near El Toro, around that construction site. My spring prediction is going to be a custom RMC Raptor near El Toro. No launched RMC. I think Lightning Rod's had too many problems to warrant another launched RMC. I know that was a launched lift hill, but to work with the terrain at Dollywood, but I do think that just a normal custom layout RMC Raptor is just going to be the way forward for Six Flags Great Adventure. But I do think it's going to be an original coaster. Of course, the last coaster that they added, and I'm not going to count the Super Loop because that is not a coaster. But the last coaster sort of at all, if you know what I mean, like not just original coasters but relocated coasters as well, is 2011. When they invested in the stand-up coaster Green Lantern, that used to be known as Chang, at the former Six Flags Six Flags Kentucky Kingdom, before they moved it over to Great Adventure. So, like we said, it's 9 years without a coaster is quite a long time. So, it would be in desperate need for a coaster. Moving on then to Six Flags Great America, of course, they're one of the coasters this year with Max Force. Next year, I predicted a Family Rides or Thunder Rapids water coaster for the water park in my early predictions. My spring prediction for this is either a Thunder Rapids water coaster in Hurricane Harbor, so like the early predictions, or a giant / Giga Discovery. They're one of the parts that hasn't got one. So I would like to see that with Great America there. Not many leaks from Great America like some of the other parks, but again, we'll have to keep an eye out. Moving on then to Magic Mountain, either a water park attraction or some family rides is what I predicted over there. That is going to be so changed from the rumours. Now, my mid-season / spring prediction for Six Flags Magic Mountain now is either a Funtime Starflyer, so like an LA Sky Screamer, a Mack Power Splash with an Aquaman theme, or an SNS 40 free spin replacing Green Lantern First Flight. Now, of course, like I said, the Mack Power Splashers, they've been going around the surveys recently. Magic Mountain's been rumoured to be one of the parts that's getting one, along with Discovery Kingdom, and of course, over Texas, like I'll talk about in a minute. But like I said, Magic Mountain have got some big rumours going on at the minute. Sky Screamer was the latest one, of course, with the, you know, it's set to be tall, apparently taller than the tallest one, which is in Orlando, which is the Starflyer in Orlando. And of course, Green Lantern First Flight closed after not many years of operation, but they said it's a more painful ride than people think, so I do feel like it was a long time coming in a way. So Green Lantern's gone. Rumours of a 40 free spin to replace it in the near future, in the next couple of years. Could be this year, who knows? It could be next year, sorry, who knows? But yeah, big stuff going on for Magic Mountain. Six Flags Mexico. So my early prediction was a Tourbillon or a Giant Discovery. I'm going to stick with the Giant Discovery. The Tourbillon's out of the question. I do think that, you know, they didn't add any Tourbillons last year. Are they going to add any this year? Chance? Maybe not. Maybe so, maybe not. But I'm going to stick with the fact that there could be a Giant Discovery going to Mexico next year. Again, no leaks for that part. Six Flags New England. It's their 150th celebrations next year, and they can go either one of two ways. They can go for celebrations, where it's like the show route, or the bringing back the classic rides from that was defunct from back in the day, like Great America did with their 40 Seasons of Thrills back in 2015. So there is that, or they can go along the coaster route, and that's the Premier Rides or the SNS Launch Coaster. Of course, we would have seen construction by now, so I don't think that's the case. I think it will be some family rides just to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the park. Yeah, so not really, you know, much to speak about with New England at the minute. Six Flags Over Georgia then. So I predicted a water park attraction or a family ride. I personally think there's two routes that Over Georgia can go. Now, of course, we know from a separate video that Splash Waterfalls is gone. Splash Waterfalls is closed, it's going to be removed. Now, there's two rides that can fit that spot, a Mack Power Splash or a 4D free spin. Now, personally, I'd go along more of the free spin route, only because of that site. I think a Mack Power Splash is a good water coaster replacement for Splash Waterfalls, but I think the 4D free spin is what's being rumoured the most. Also, with that separate video, I think it was like the third ever video that we released, or like it was like in the first 5 videos we ever released on this channel, which is mad how far we've come. I spoke about how Over George is apparently looking at investing in a 40 free spin next year, and then 2021 is going to be like a Premier or an SNS Launch Coaster, like a Full Throttle or a Max Force. So there is still that possibility. So, to be fair, either one of the two, a 40 free spin or a Mack Power Splash, could be the case for Over Georgia next year. Over Texas, now this is another big one. I predicted either a Chance Freestyle or a Family Rides package. Now I'm predicting a Mack Power Splash replacing Aquaman Splashdown. It's going to bring in that new Aquaman style of theme. It's going to be like an Aquaman themed Power Splash, and I do think that is the case. I think that is going to be my prediction, my final prediction even. I think unless they steer us a completely different direction with that, I think Over Texas will get a Power Splash next year. Finally then, Six Flags St. Louis. Now I predicted a 40 free spin, RMC the Boss, or an RMC Raptor. My mid-season prediction, or my spring prediction, is going to be an RMC Raptor, custom layout, unsure on location, or a Zamperla Giant / Giga Discovery, possibly replacing the 1996 Sky Coaster Dragon's Wing. Now, of course, Six Flags St. Louis haven't announced the closure of their Sky Coaster, but with Six Flags America's Sky Coaster closing, I do think it could be a matter of time before Six Flags St. Louis announced the closure of theirs, in my opinion. So, Of course, there was all the talk about the flat ride Excalibur apparently being removed, and then I got told it's just being fixed, it's just being heavily maintained. That's apparently back up and running, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Excalibur's going to be alright for the next few years at least, next couple of years at least. So I do think that there's a possibility the Sky Coaster could go at Six Flags St. Louis for this Giant Slash Giga Discovery, and again, RMC Raptor. I don't think they're going to RMC the Boss anytime soon. I think give it a few years. But Six Flags St. Louis are in desperate need of a coaster. You know my thoughts already. So it should be interesting. That is it then. That is my spring 2020 predictions for the Six Flags theme parks. Now, of course, we've still got the Cedar Fair and the Merlin Entertainment videos to come, so I hope you guys are ready for that. Thank you very much for watching the first of these spring prediction episodes. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video. And for now, my name is Coach Charlie, YouTube channel. Keep living the Coast Life Nudes, and I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Take care. Have an awesome day, my friends.